If anyone had told me that the man I married was hiding the one addiction that could destroy us both, I would have laughed, because in my mind, I married perfection. I was the girl who didn't believe in managing a man. I wanted a flawless husband, and the worst part was that I actually thought that I found him. Until one night, around 2 a.m., I woke up and saw something that changed my marriage forever. My name is Adora, and I was officially the queen of high standards. Seriously, if anyone ever believed in perfect love, that was me. My friends used to laugh and say I was looking for a robot, not a husband. But I was dead serious. I used to say I would never ever settle for a man with flaws. I wanted a man who was calm, gentle, God-fearing, supportive, and emotionally stable. So many good men came into my life, and I rejected them all because I saw some tiny imperfection. Maybe he doesn't pray enough, his job isn't stable, he shouts when he's angry. I was just waiting for my custom-made woman. And I used to believe that love must be perfect, or it was nothing. Then at a friend's wedding reception, I met Chike. When I say he was everything I prayed for, please understand me. It was like I wrote a list and God handed me the final product. He spoke with such a soothing low voice, had the patience of a saint. The way he loved me felt so pure and intentional. He never raised his voice, not even when he was clearly frustrated. He just listened, really listened, and he remembered the tiny, insignificant details about me, like my favorite type of drink and the way I liked my eggs scrambled. And most of all, he was comfortably, financially too. I believed I finally got a man who was complete. I remember calling my friend, my best friend Ngozi. I was just crying on the phone saying, "Ngozi, I hit the jackpot. This is it." I was so happy. I was so happy that I met someone like him. He told me he worked as a senior analyst in a high-end real estate firm. So every morning he would dress up in his sharp suit, carry his sleek laptop bag, kiss me goodbye and leave the house. And I was beyond proud of him. I practically walked around with a halo over my head. I even started giving relationship advice to my single friends, smugly telling them to wait for a man who is perfect, that they shouldn't settle for anything less. Just imagine my audacity. The first few months of our marriage were a dream. But then, about 6 months in, I started noticing small, strange things. It started with the sneaking out. He would sometimes get out of bed around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in the night, though not every night, but often enough to be a pattern and concern to me. When I asked, he would just say, with that calm, serious face, Sweetheart, I just want to commit our home to God in prayer. I would smile, feeling this huge surge of love and relief, thinking, wow, see the husband that I got married to. I didn't know it then, but that was his first lie. And I swallowed it hook, line, and sinker because it was the perfect answer. But gradually his whole vibe changed. His mood became restless, like a trapped bird. He stopped eating well. I would cook his favorite egusi soup and he would just peek at it. His eyes even developed a dark circles that no amount of sleep seemed to fix. He would pace the living room sometimes for an hour straight, hands clasped behind his back. A million miles away. He started sitting up at night even when he didn't go outside to pray. His hands, those gentle hands I loved, would sometimes shake for no reason. But still, he loved me like nothing was wrong. He was still attentive. He still remembered my favorite drink. But this bizarre, confusing mix. The good husband was still there, but a nervous ghost was living inside him. One particularly cold night, I woke up around 2 a.m. to a faint light. I opened my eyes and I saw the glow of his phone screen reflecting on the wall. He was sitting at the edge of the bed, phone in his hand, eyes wide and focused, almost frantic. He was whispering because I strained my ear and I heard, come on, just one more go, please, just this one. At first, I thought, he was just praying in tongues. I mean, he said please with such desperation, and I thought maybe he was fighting a spiritual battle. But then I heard a sound from the phone. It was a sharp, high-pitched digital chime, like a game notification or a slot machine, followed by his deep, ragged exhale. It sounded like someone who had just lost the will to breathe. He slumped his shoulders, closed the app, and slid back onto the covers, completely still. The next morning, I was a wreck. I tried to be normal. I made breakfast, trying to pretend I didn't notice the dark cycle, the dead look in his eyes. And also, I didn't want to be the suspicious Nigerian wife. I didn't want to accuse him blindly and ruin the peace that we had. So I have to wait. I waited till I saw something tangible that could stand as a proof. But one Tuesday evening, it all broke out. Chike came home very early. He was tired and withdrawn. He said he needed a shower to clear his head. As he stepped into the bedroom, his phone, which he had left on the center table, a spot he never usually left it, buzzed loudly. The notification flashed across the screen. It was so clean. What I saw there was so clean, so direct that it hit me like a physical punch. Your bet of 250,000 naira has been placed. Good luck, Chike. My whole world stopped. My breath hinged. I didn't think, I just moved. My hands flew to the phone. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. The crazy thing, his password was still my birthday, 12/07/92. It wasn't even hidden. That detail broke me more than anything. He trusted me that much to use my birth date as his phone password. I didn't understand, or was he just too careless to change it? I opened the phone. The screen lit up with different sports betting apps. I saw visual games, live games tracker, and a meticulous, terrifying transaction history. I scrolled and scrolled. My fingers dump large withdrawals, large deposits, massive losses. Then I saw the truth, the final piece of the ugly puzzle. The bank app. A recent credit alert. It was a withdrawal from one of the betting platforms, not a salary. I scrolled down the past 6 months of our marriage. 0 actual salary from a real estate firm he had told me he worked at. It wasn't a prayer. What he was doing all this while wasn't prayer, wasn't night vigil, wasn't real estate. My perfect husband was a gambler, and was all the money we lived on, all the comforts, all the small gifts and dinners, it all came from the high stakes game. We were living on borrowed time and pure chance. Can you imagine that? What kind of life is this? Just as I stood there, phone shaking in my hand, the bathroom door cracked open. The steam rolled out and he stepped out, twirling his hair. He saw the phone, he saw the apps on the screen, he saw the look on my face. And I saw something crack, something deep and fundamental inside him. The carefully constructed wall of perfection that he had built all around him crumbled. His shoulders slumped. The towel dropped to the floor. He didn't even try to deny it. Why will he? He didn't shout. He didn't even plead. He just sank slowly right there onto the cold ties and cried like a child who had lost his mother. It wasn't the quiet weeping of a man. It was just this desperate, guttural sound of a soul breaking. He was saying, "Adora, please, I can explain." No, he was almost choking. I couldn't breathe. His tears were too little, too late. That betrayal, it was very large. My pride, my high standards, my whole carefully managed image of our life and marriage was screaming at me. I told him, don't. My voice was sharp and thin. Don't say anything again. I dropped the phone on the bed like it was a snake and walked straight to the wardrobe. I didn't waste time. I pulled out a small duffel bag. My hands were shaking so violently I could barely zip it. How could I stay with a man who built our life on chance? How could I have been so blind? The urge to flee to save my own reputation was deafening. "I am going to my mother's house," I announced, not looking at the wreck on the floor, not looking at him. "Please, babe, don't go. Please don't leave me. I will stop. I swear I will stop," he continued to say. I walked past him and opened the door and left. That night, I slept at my mother's house, but believe me, it was a torture. I could not breathe, I could not eat. The mattress felt wrong, the silence felt wrong. My mother kept asking me, "What happened? Tell me, talk to your mother." But I couldn't articulate the sheer complicated mess. I had always said I wanted perfection. Now, I had the broken, imperfect truth, and it felt like a heavy stone. In the dead of the night, staring at the ceiling, the truth finally hit me. Not with a bang, but with a quiet, devastating clarity. I didn't want a perfect man. I wanted him. I wanted Chike, my husband. I realized that the man who gambled, the man who lied, was the same man who remembered my favorite drink, tucked me into bed every night. The lie was a sickness, a problem, not the entire man. My desire for perfection was the real flaw in this whole mess. So the next morning, I drove straight back to our house. Chike was still there. He was still sitting on the floor where I had left him, still in his towel, staring blankly at the wall. He hadn't even moved since yesterday. When he saw me, he looked up. His eyes were swollen and red. And the surprise on his face was heartbreaking, because I don't know, maybe he was probably expecting, me to hand him a divorce papers. I didn't rush. I just sat beside him on the edge of the bed and gently, slowly held his shaking hands. And I told him, even though my voice was heavy with exhaustion, I am angry. I am disappointed. I am heartbroken. You broke me, babe. You broke the one thing we had, which was trust. He squeezed my hands, tears welling up again. He continued, I know, Adora, I am so sorry. I am so ashamed. But I continued, cutting him off before his self-pity could start. I want us to fix this, I continued to say. Together, I am not leaving you to fix the demon you brought into our marriage alone. We both sank to the floor together again, and for the first time in months, we talked for real. He confessed everything. The pressure, the small initial wins, the addiction taking hold, the fear of telling me, the shame. It was not easy, babe. It was not easy at all. So we got help immediately. He joined a support program, deleted the apps in front of me, and quit the pretend real estate job to start learning a real skill, something he could be accountable for. Some days were ugly, there were fights, there were relapses of moodiness, and there were days I silently, regretted staying. I would see his eyes drift to his phone and a cold knot would form in my stomach. But then I would remember, love is not about perfection. Love is choosing someone again, even after seeing the worst part, even after seeing the wound. It is walking into a mess with them and deciding that the future you built together is worth more than the perfect life you dreamt up alone. And this time, without the facade, without the lies, without the pressure of being the perfect man, we love each other for real. It is beautiful and it is perfectly imperfect. If you are listening to me right now, let me tell you something with my full chest. That person you are looking for does not need to be perfect. They just need to be willing to grow with you. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next video. See you again.